Hey everyone, we're here today with Shalise Grogan, who is a full-time web developer. She works in the IT community, and she's here to tell us a little bit more about some of these bills that Congress is working on that may sound okay at first glance, but when you dig a little bit deeper, have some very, very troubling implications. If you could, can you tell us a little bit about HR 1981? Because we were talking about that off camera.
Definitely.
And that one sounds messed up.
Well, other than the fact that it's shrouded in a name that obviously provokes an emotional response, and you do want to stop that type of issue. You want to stop child pornography. The other part about it is it has some major surveillance provisions, and what it does is it allows internet service providers to basically, or forces them rather, to track and save your information about your temporarily assigned IP addresses, your name, your phone number, your address.
What does that mean?
Cetera.
Temporarily assigned IP address.
Quite all right.
I know what an IP address is. It's the number that identifies you online, basically.
Yes.
Why is it temporary? Why isn't it just one thing?
Well, depending on what type of service you have, you could either have a static IP, which means that it doesn't change, or you have dynamic, which means that it does change based on quite a few different factors, which we won't get into. But when it does change, it's given to you by your internet service provider, and it's basically kept on a rotation. Now, when you get given a new one, all your old activity on the old IP address is kind of, it's not identified as you anymore. So what the government wants internet service providers to do is save all of those for a specific consumer, which would then possibly be used to track internet usage. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's also pretty bad about it is it not only is saving those the IP addresses, but it also is saving your credit card information, your bank account information, or anything else you use to pay your bill monthly. And what they're trying to force internet service providers to do is save it for at least a year. So if there's an investigation going on and they need to look into you thinking you're a child pornographer or...
But the thing here is they're doing it for everybody. So
everybody.
All Americans, you're having your data stored for a year. What you're doing online is being stored, correct?
Yes.
Even if you have nothing to do with child porn.
Even if you have nothing to do with it.
It's kind of a presumption of guilt rather than the presumption of innocence.
Exactly.
So it's like, we don't think you're a child pornographer, but just in case, we're going to record all of your information and we can go back through it at any time.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Exactly. And the thing that's interesting, too, about it is not only is it forcing internet service providers to do this at their own cost, but it's also doing it without any possible legal recourse if there was a breach that was to occur and your information was stolen by somebody and used for whatever reason. There's nothing you can do about it. You cannot sue the internet service provider. It's actually a part of the bill itself saying that you cannot... I could probably read it.
So they can spy on you, but if they turn out to use it in an egregiously wrong way, you can't turn around and sue them later.
Nope, you can't. And the other thing that's really interesting, too, is that if for whatever reason, have you ever heard of an NSL or National Security Letter?
I haven't, but I look forward to receiving one eventually.
Oh, yes. That's if you, for whatever reason, were to get caught downloading or, streaming illegal content and someone was downloading it from you and your internet service provider or the government sent you a cease and desist letter. Basically, what they've done to the internet service provider is send them a letter requesting information. So they send the letter without needing any sort of warrant and basically say, you can't tell the person that we're asking information about, but we want all the information about them. So you could possibly have your information given to the government without ever knowing about it.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Finally, we're running out of time, but who drafted this thing? Is it drafted by people who know a lot about the internet, or who's
Not
behind
particularly. If anybody else has heard of SOPA, the same author who wrote that, or who was the sponsor of that bill, is Lamar Smith. He's also the sponsor of HR 1981. So he's right back there trying to bring some more privacy concerns
This guy
to the front.
He seems to hate the internet in its current form.
Or maybe just the internet civil liberties.
Speaking of civil liberties, just very quickly, show us this FBI flyer, which is real. This is not something from The Onion. This is actually real. It concerns suspicious activities to look out for at an internet cafe, right?
Yes, it does. And it's basically to anybody who might be a going to the internet cafe just to use it, or if you work at one, and it's telling you who you should consider suspicious. So anybody who might be concerned about privacy, who may pay cash, or who may have nervous or suspicious behavior, or have more than one cell phone, they could be considered suspicious, and you should call them and let them know about it.
I mean, I think everybody is concerned about their privacy, especially when you're browsing at a public Wi-Fi location.
Right.
You don't want people seeing your bank account info or your email accounts.
Mm-hmm.
But being concerned about that privacy makes you a potential terrorist, according to this flyer.
Yes. And actually, anybody who might be using any proxy servers, portals, or anything that would shield your IP address from any other users of that internet cafe are also considered suspicious. So if any one of you uses Tor or Tails, if you've ever heard of these items or these programs before, then you know you could be considered suspicious.
So don't do anything suspicious. Always pay with a credit card. Don't care about your privacy, and you'll be fine.
Yes, exactly.
Thanks a lot for coming on the show today.
Thank you
This
very
is really
much.
enlightening stuff.
Great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again. I think that was good.
Alrighty.
So people get this. This is not a joke. This
No,
is not
this
a
actually
printout
is-
from The Onion.
no.
The FBI is actually distributing this, and there actually is a phone number for citizens to call in, right?
Yes, at the bottom.